when you take down
When you win.
a car
Yep.
that, $120,000 in your $30,000 RT, there has to be just oh my God, I'm freaking out right now. You go to the drag strip, you constantly line up versus some really good competition. I've seen demon races. I've seen you race a Lamborghini, and one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about is the gratification and the satisfaction of having a super low trim level or a slower vehicle and lining up versus that kind of competition, and not just going step for step, but also pulling out victories.
So if I had a nickel for every time someone came up to my car and asked me, "Hey, is that a Hellcat or is that a demon?" I wouldn't have to do YouTube. I'd be rich by now. Literally, it's like uh, I guess it's more people that aren't into the Dodge, into the Dodge brand. But it's like, "Hey, is that a Hellcat?" No, it's a baby 5.7. But I'm a whole lot faster than a Hellcat.
They probably don't even believe that you're a 5.7
Yeah,
too, with the times
yeah.
that you're kind of posting out there.
Beating them by a couple tenths, half a second, and it's a whole lot of fun. And then they're like, "Well, what do you got done to it?" And then you got to go, you go through the laundry list of modifications that I've done. And it's a I think we're gonna talk about this in a minute, but it's a slippery slope, folks. It really is. But it is gratifying, when you're lined up against the top trims of Dodge. And like you said, I'm either hanging with them or, I'm edging them out.
We'll run out once in the lane, and then once the lanes are empty, we will make a class call. At this time, no drivers to the lane. Thank you.
One at 139.
And that's with stock pistons, stock rods.
Yep.
And basically, what, 15 pounds of boost on there?
Roughly, yeah. Again, boost kind of depends on the day and the weather, but those runs were probably in the 15 range.
A lot of guys with modifying, they're like, oh, I just, I don't know where to start. They have a stock 392, stock 5.7, and they really are just don't know where to begin. And obviously with Shake and Bake, you didn't get to this level. Well, you didn't start out thinking, oh, I'm going to go out and kill some demons. It started off likely as one modification. You enjoyed that and then continued down the road. So if there's a new modifier or a new guy that wants to get into this, like, what advice would you give them to kind of kick off their build?
You can kind of go down my road, right, and your road as well, right. So we started with, I'll say, the cheaper bolt-on modifications, right, and those bolt-on modifications will support the future modifications. If depending on how far down the road you want to go, I made a whole video about this. Is Look, the first thing you want to do is set your goal. Figure out what your goal, and your goal can change, but
A goalpost always is changing.
yeah,
You do that one modification, you're like, ooh, I like this. Let me
right,
keep on,
right. But set that goal, whatever it is. I hate to say horsepower numbers because dyno numbers are dyno numbers, and we can talk about that later. But whether it's a horsepower number or a time at the track or some, set a goal, right? And then that way you can make a plan to get to that goal. To get, for example, it's going to take this modification, that modification. It's going to take, this much money. And then you can figure out your budget, right?
yep,
Because what's going to happen is if you don't have that goal, plan, and budget, you're going to wind up like me, and you've done this as well. I've bought things 2, 3, 4 times. I'm on my
true.
4th set of injectors, where if I said, all right, I want to run 9s with my car, I could have bought injectors once. If you're not going to go down the rabbit hole, the both of us have gone down, and you're only going to go so far, that plan and that budget and that goal, right, will get you there.
Yeah.
Rather than, I want a goal of, running 10.5 at the track, and you buy, 650 injectors. Well, 650 injectors aren't going to get you there.
No.
Where if you would have had that plan, the plan and the goal to begin with, you would have bought 1050X injectors, and you'd have been good. You wouldn't have to buy them twice. Is kind of what I'm saying. Having a plan, a goal, a plan, and a budget in the long run is going to save you money. I think your expectations are the biggest downfall when it comes to modifications, right? I'll say the easy bolt-on ones. Your expectations of what you're going to get out of those bolt-ons, right?
Yep.
Or even a cam or long tube headers, right? You have to kind of temper your expectations, because all of these cars aren't built the same, right? Yes, they're all 5.7s, they're all Dodge, they all come out of the same place, but they're all tuned different, right? So even from the factory, your car is going to be differently tuned than my car because there's going to be minor things that are different